it just takes a lot to keep it under control, and I don't feel that that's happening.
A recent string of violent crimes has people living in some Lexington neighborhoods worried what police said about the problem.
A Facebook hacker is making life tough on a local company's fan page. Tonight, that company is now warning other businesses to be careful.
What the developer of the Centrepointe project is saying tonight about the city's request to fill in the hole.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening. They say they're taking extra steps to keep the community safe. Lexington police leaders met today to discuss a rash of violence around the city.
Since April 7th, police have been called to 12 violent crime scenes, all but one of them a shooting. This map shows where the crimes happen, and people in those neighborhoods tell us they're concerned. Monique Blair has our top story at 11.
Where is a good place? Can you tell me?
Rodney Brock lives just a few blocks from the most recent shooting. This morning, a man was shot in the stomach on Codell Drive.
You don't think that that's going on out here, but it is.
It is going on. This map shows you the 12 shootings and 1 stabbing we have reported so far in April. From January through March, Lexington police tell us they responded to 10 reports of someone being assaulted with a weapon. That's less assaults in 3 months than in the past 3 weeks in April. And today, Lexington police tell us they had a meeting to talk about what they're going to do about what appears to be an upswing in violent crimes.
We take every crime seriously and respond with urgency to all these incidents. And we've directed additional internal resources to areas where there's been an uptick in criminal activity to establish a presence as we continue to investigate these crimes and arrest those responsible.
Lexington Police Commander Greg Jones says there is no way to distinguish whether there are any common denominators in the recent crimes because the investigations are still ongoing, and he couldn't specify exactly what areas police are going to be focusing on. As he said, it is part of the investigation.
We're addressing all locations where there's been serious crime, and so not just specific locations, but every locations where we've seen an increase in crime.
And that was our Monique Blair reporting. Commander Jones tells us there's no way to tell if any of these crimes are related or even if there are common denominators until each investigation is complete.
Tonight, the developer of Centrepointe is demanding that the city take back its request to fill in the excavated site and admit that they made a mistake. The city sent Dudley Webb a letter telling him to restore the Centrepointe block to what it looked like before all the digging and blasting. City Attorney Mason Miller says little or no work has been done at Centrepointe the last 60 days, and by agreement, Webb must fill in the giant hole at his cost.
Well, we've been monitoring the development of the site every day since that agreement was signed. The failure to act in this instance has been pretty egregious. I think folks only need to drive by the site and peek in the fence to see that nothing's been done for a long, long time.
But late this afternoon, Webb fired off a letter to the city, giving several examples, he says, of work at the construction site the last 60 days. Webb claims the city's letter is having an immediate negative impact. Quote, it appears that one prime tenant is going to withdraw from the project solely as a result of the LFUCG's demand and your erroneous public comments. Webb started Centrepointe almost 7 years ago, and city leaders say very little has been done to build the hotels, apartments, condos, and office tower.
They have worked hard to reach more customers through Facebook, but one wrong click has turned into a nightmare for a Casey County company. Tartar Farm and Ranch Equipment fell victim to a phishing scam. A hacker took over the company's Facebook page and posted racy material. So what can you do to make sure this doesn't happen to you? Garrett Weimer has the story new at 11.
It started with a simple Facebook message.
It looked to be a notification from Facebook. It looked very legitimate. When he clicked on it, he filled in his credentials.
But it wasn't from Facebook, and whoever got access shut everyone else out of the page. Now,
when people go to Facebook and look us up, they're going to see that horrible, horrible posting.
The page's 126,000 fans now see links decidedly not safe for work, let alone TV, and certainly not family friendly.
It's 180 degrees diametrically opposed to the lifestyle that we live, we promote, and we sell.
The Better Business Bureau says, unfortunately, these so-called phishing scams are all too common, and it's something businesses especially need to watch out for.
Facebook also says they will never ask you for a password or login information in an email like that. That would have been the warning sign here. Someone probably thought that they were doing the right thing, and it ended up going completely wrong.
As the company works to take back control of their page and stop the hackers' hijinks, Tarter says they want others to watch out.
If you're unsure, just back away, don't click on anything, and if you want to see Tarter products, go to tarterusa.com. Don't go to our Facebook. Let's give us a few weeks.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Well, what a frustrating thing to have happen. Tarter says they've reached out to Facebook about the hacking, but so far they have not received much response and are having trouble getting the situation fixed.
After a string of sunny, beautiful days, looks like rain will be returning for Thursday. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's in early with a look at that forecast. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Sam. Indeed, a couple of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder out there for our Thursday. It's a very strong disturbance we were tracking late on your Wednesday evening that is coming at us from north to south, kind of an odd direction to be tracking a system this time of year. You normally look toward the north for something coming at you in the wintertime. Well, it's been cold enough over the past several days, the past couple of weeks. I believe today's the 10th day in a row of colder than normal temperatures. Here is our system across the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes. You even see the little spin here associated with that low pressure. But look right behind this front, we have northwesterly winds, and you have a little upper level feature that is also giving a little curlicue to the clouds with some showers developing around the Champaign, Illinois area. Those are ticketed for central and eastern Kentucky as we go into the day tomorrow. Now, nothing is showing up on Live First Alert Defender. Not expecting anything over the next several hours with a little increase in clouds. Look at temperatures tonight into the upper 50s to around 60. Still into many areas, a far cry from those temperatures that have been down into the 30s over the past few mornings. How do we look for tomorrow afternoon? A lot cooler than today. It's some upper 50s to low 60s. Anyone fair game for a small hail-producing shower or thunderstorm because the freezing level is so close to the ground. That's the bad part of the forecast. If you love summer, I've got a lot of good showing up in the 7-day forecast, guys. I've got 80s, and I'll show you when just ahead.
Police arrested a Knox County mother they say put her children in danger while on the road. State police charged 34-year-old Sarah Stamper with DUI, reckless driving, and endangering the welfare of a minor. Police say Stamper's children were in the car with her while she was driving recklessly. They say the children called their grandmother because they feared for their safety.
The federal judge who struck down Kentucky's same-sex marriage ban has died. Court leaders say John Hayburn died today after a battle with liver cancer. He was 66 years old. He'd been a U.S. district judge since 1992. Last year, Hayburn struck down Kentucky's constitutional amendment that banned same-sex marriage and the state's ban on recognizing same-sex marriages performed in other states. The rulings were appealed, and the Supreme Court heard arguments in Kentucky's case just yesterday. Well, it is the second night of a curfew in Baltimore. National Guard troops and police have helped keep violence down today.
But the city is still on edge following the death of a man in police custody earlier this month. As Craig Boswell tells us tonight, protests continue today.
There wasn't any violence during this evening protest march through Baltimore, but it was far from peaceful.
The people united will never be defeated.
The marches here and in several other cities, including New York and Minneapolis, were to protest the death of Freddie Gray. The 25-year-old died April 19th of mysterious spinal injuries he sustained in police custody.
I'm really sick and tired of hearing cases every day of young black men dying for no reason.
2 days after Monday's riots, National Guard troops and thousands of local police and officers from nearby states have prevented further violence. Still, baseball fans were kept out of Camden Yards for safety reasons. Only diehards at the gates could hear the Orioles host the White Sox before empty stands. The next step in the investigation into Freddie Gray's death will take place on Friday when police turn over evidence to the state's attorney. The police commissioner says not to expect details.
That we can't put out too much information, that it may jeopardize the case itself if anyone needs to be prosecuted.
Wednesday's march was also an opportunity for Baltimore residents to speak up for their city.
And I want the people out here to just realize that we're bigger than nonviolence. We're a city that started with love, and we're going to end on love.
We must love and support one another.
It's a message they want to deliver loud and clear. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Baltimore.
Now, protests were also held around the country today, but those were mostly peaceful. But in New York City, police did make some arrests after protesters threw bottles and scuffled with officers. Tonight, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders made it official he's running for president. In an interview with the Associated Press, he said he will seek the Democratic nomination. He's an independent in the U.S. Senate. Hillary Clinton is the only other Democrat who's officially joined the 2016 race for the White House. She is considered the heavy favorite to win the Democratic nomination.
A Central Kentucky fire department is helping the family of a teenager killed in a crash. How you can join the effort in 9 minutes.
And later, you'll want to see this video. A father had quite a surprise today for his young son at a Central Kentucky school.
Firefighters in Lincoln County are helping the family of a 17-year-old who died in a crash.
Investigators say that Taylor Woods died Friday when a car hit his motorcycle in Casey County. Taylor was a senior at Casey County High School. His funeral was held there this afternoon. He was also a junior firefighter for the Lincoln County Fire Department. So firefighters there are raising money to help pay for funeral costs.
He's 17 and no mother should be alone to bury her son. And we're not going to let her be alone.
Anyone wanting to help the Woods family can send cash or a check to the Waynesburg Volunteer Fire Department. We have that address for you on our website on WKYT.com.
Investigators say they have linked a Frankfort police officer to a case involving stolen bourbon and steroids. And police say that officer, Michael Wells, resigned today. Wells was named in search warrants connected to the case. The warrants say Gilbert Kurtzinger, the man police consider to be the ringleader, placed orders for steroids with Wells. And investigators say Wells called Kurtzinger 3 times while deputies were serving a search warrant that uncovered the stolen bourbon. Frankfort police say an internal investigation found Wells may have violated city policies.
After deliberation, Officer Wells elected to resign his position with the Frankfort Police Department.
Wells had been with Frankfort Police for a decade. He was also the department's DARE officer. Franklin County Sheriff Pat Melton wouldn't comment if Wells would face charges, but he did say more arrests are expected in the case.
An Anderson County child received quite a surprise at school today.
Oh my God! That's Eddie!
It sure is. The Anderson News sharing this video of Sergeant Brad Sizemore surprising his son Ethan in a 2nd grade class at Emma B. Ward Elementary School today. Sergeant Sizemore just completed a tour of duty in Iraq and Kuwait, and he's back home in Lawrenceburg for the first time in nearly a year.
Those videos never get old. Well, the Run for the Roses is Saturday, but tonight it was the run on the Ohio River. The Belle of Louisville and the Belle of Cincinnati battled it out for the annual Great Steamboat Race in Louisville. And for the 2nd year in a row, the Belle of Louisville won. The prize, silver-plated antlers. Today, a couple of former UK basketball stars met some of the many fans who cheered them on this past season. Dakari Johnson and Trey Lyles signed autographs at the Sayre School in Lexington this afternoon. And just like other autograph signings, fans had to wait in long lines. One Sayre student told us it was worth the wait. She said she had an important reason for getting Trey Lyles' signature.
Yeah, we want to get quite the collection on our basketball, and we have his posters that were handed out the UK games, and we want to get those signed.
Dakari Johnson once played basketball for the Sayre School before moving to Florida after the 8th grade. I love that they continue to go anywhere that they can to see the fans.
I bet Dakari was something else in middle school.
I bet.
Woo, handful.